Hello. Oh, here we go. You'll have to excuse me, it's been a long time. Hello? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Nice to see you today. My name is Monet of Before Meat Eyes, second generation. Starlight. Curly, funky, retro, cutie. Monet. Tezu. It's been a long time since we had an ASMR stream like this, huh? But seemed like a nice night for one. And I think sometimes we kind of overthink things, huh? About maybe things like, oh, I should have a plan, or I should know exactly what I'm going to do, but sometimes there's no plan, and that's exactly the kind of night that we are going to have tonight. The plan is that there is no plan. Today, I'm close up. Is this too close? Am I too close? I hope it's okay. Sorry, my mouth is like really wet. So I'm sorry for having a really wet mouth. That sounds weird. No, not like that. Like normally. Well, it's nice to see you here on a Tuesday night. It's been a while, so please let me know if my volume needs to be a little bit higher or lower. Is this better? My cats just started slapping each other, sorry. I was worried they were gonna make a noise. It's gotten really cold here. Last few nights it's been like 40 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't really know what that is in Celsius. You'll have to forgive me. So I brought out the And they seem very happy about it. How nice it is to relax on a warm blanket. So I hope that today's ASMR can be kinda like a warm blanket for your ears. They seem pretty happy though. It's been very cold though. I tried to go outside yesterday to go look at the moon because finally it was a clear day. It wasn't cloudy today. And so I went outside, but it was so cold. So cold. When you would breathe, like you can see the steam. When you go I'm actually pretty weak to the cold, but I think the night sky is particularly beautiful when it's cold and clear. Something about it makes it so that oh my gosh, hold on. Something about it makes it so that the stars twinkle and twinkle and twinkle. And I forgot to turn off monetization for the stream, and I don't want you to get ads. Give me a second. There we go. Sorry, I totally forgot about that. I don't want you to get spooked by an ad halfway through. I never monetize my ASMR. But really though, if you go outside, you can see the stars twinkle, 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 twinkle. Sometimes, if you're really lucky, maybe you'll see a constellation. Are you good at pointing out constellations? Do you think if you went out right now to look at the sky, do you think you could point out a constellation? Orion is easy because you can find Orion's belt. And the easiest way to identify Orion's belt is 3 stars right next to each other. 1, 2, 3. And from there on, you can probably find the rest. Unfortunately, if you live in the city, it can be pretty rare to be able to see the stars, that's true. It's such a shame when all the city lights rob you of seeing the stars at night. And in my case, it's always cloudy too. It's true. There was that night recently that they said that you could see the northern lights. What is it? The aurora borealis. And it's been my life's dream to see it one day. Because when you think about it, right? Isn't it so, like, the only word I really have for it is just like magnificent. A geomagnetic storm causing beautiful colored lights in the sky, and they seem almost magical. It almost seems like they shouldn't be real, you know what I mean? Like sometimes you think there's no way things like this exist on this world, right? Things like trees, animals, humans, machines, technology. We're pretty used to those kind of things. But then sometimes you get to peak. It's like the world gives you this invitation to see the hidden side, you know? Things like the ocean, all the fish in the sea, all the thousands and thousands of creatures that live in the ocean, the plants in the ocean that seem like they're almost from like another planet, and just the way that life is completely different. I know it's kind of silly, but sometimes I wonder what it must be like to be a fish. Right? Sometimes before bed, I've been watching these videos of scuba diving and snorkeling, and it is so beautiful under the water. But it's crazy to think that our bodies weren't designed for that environment. You know what I mean? We can't live underwater naturally anyway. And so sometimes you can just see the raw beauty of the ocean, but imagine on everything that you don't get to see. The way things are, and the way things grow when you don't need sunlight, when you don't need oxygen, when you don't need all the things that we need. And I feel kind of similar when I think about the sky and when I think about space and the stars and the clouds. And the sky is so complex. It's a living thing, just like the ocean is. Even more. And it's crazy to think that when you go outside and you see a star twinkling, that it's a real thing, you know? I think they say it's been a long time since I took an astronomy class, forgive me, but I think they say that if you see a star that's extra bright and it doesn't twinkle, that it's very likely it's a planet, what you're looking at. And the fact that, like, you as a human being can have the privilege to see that with your bare eyes is really, 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 really incredible. Don't you think? So many things could be happening. Maybe there's little aliens running around. Maybe they have alien VTubers. think about that kind of thing when I think about the northern lights, because for that moment a little door opens and you're allowed to see one of the most beautiful things in the world that you can only see when the time is right, when the sky allows you, and when your eyes allow you to. However, I think the universe hates me because every time that there's been an opportunity to look at the northern lights, I go outside and it is so cloudy. The entire sky is just clouds. I just want to see them at least once before I die, you know? Like when people talk about a bucket list, I think the very top of my bucket list, my list of things that I want to do before my time is up, is see the northern lights. And ideally it would be in a place like, I don't know, Alaska or Iceland. But the thought of seeing them right outside my door is really cool. Speaking of the night sky, though, have you ever seen the Milky Way with your bare naked eyes? No telescope, no nothing, just you look up at the sky and you can see the galaxy. You have to be somewhere very, very, very dark. Somewhere very, very, very dark. Usually out in nature. Things like that. And it's so unbelievably beautiful. I've only seen it once in my life, when I was a little kid. When I They say that due to the lack of humidity, it's one of the best places to stargaze. They say that one of the most perfect places to look at the sky are places like Flagstaff, Arizona. Because they're very high altitude into the mountains. It's cold and dry. There's no heat, no moisture to warp your vision or the light. And so we went on this trip, right? And I'd never gone camping. And so we did all these little things, like learn wilderness survival skills. Things like how to use a little mirror to reflect the sunlight, to use as an SOS signal if you're ever stranded in the desert. Things like how to start a fire, etc., etc. They taught us about the local wildlife, the types of fish, the types of nature around there. And at night, a little bit before bedtime, because it was an overnight field trip. We were there for one night, which I'm sure you can believe was incredibly exciting at that age. A field trip where you get to sleep there for a night. So they had told us ahead of time that they were bringing lots of astronomers with big telescopes, the kinds that you can see other galaxies with, the kinds where you can see other planets with. The real professional stuff. From the local Astronomers Association. And there was a lot of observatories in this area, right? And so, for a couple hours, they managed to turn off the lights everywhere. Every building, the lights were off. And for several miles, there was no light pollution whatsoever. All we had were little flashlights. And so they call us out. We have our little flashlights, and so focused on, the light on the ground, trying to make sure I don't trip, trying to make sure that I'm looking where I'm walking. And then my friend, my best friend, we were peas in a pod, we were inseparable. And so of course I was next to her. And so she tells me to look up. And sure enough, I look up. And I had no words. It didn't look real. It's such a strange feeling. Sorry. It's such a strange feeling because for a second I didn't think it was real. But how couldn't it be? Like, how couldn't it be real? I was outside and I was looking up at the sky. So how couldn't it be real? But it really, it really felt like I was looking straight up into space. I could see the Milky Way clearly, incredibly clearly. All the different shades, all the different tones. The color of the stardust. Like when you think of a very typical picture of the Milky Way galaxy. That's what it looked like. I couldn't get enough of it. Sorry, I couldn't help but get a little stuck in my memory, reliving it. It kind of feels like if I close my eyes, I'm right there again. And so we had a little lesson learning about the stars and learning about the galaxy and astronomy. I've really always really liked astronomy since I was little. I think it was this moment exactly that made me interested in it. And so they had us go up to every telescope. Oh, sorry. My mouth is making noises. They had us go through every telescope. And the telescope was set to they spent a long time beforehand setting it to the perfect location. So one telescope was set to another galaxy, and another telescope And it's the feeling of seeing those other things out there. It's so strange. I don't know how to explain it. It really is that feeling of you feel so small, but not in a scary way. You feel like you are right where you belong. Like you are where you are supposed to be. I'm a little human on a little planet named Earth, amongst all these little stars, amongst all these little planets, all these little systems, all these little galaxies. I'm just a little guy. I think humbling is a good term for it. Yeah. I don't think I even understood any of these emotions when I saw the sky that day as a kid. I was just speechless. I was just shocked. I've lived in this city my entire life, so it was like up until that moment I didn't even know it was possible for the sky to look like that. And then my other favorite part of the night was that at the auditorium they told us to line up one by one. And they gave each one of us a big graham cracker, which I never really think about it, but graham crackers that's what my grandma used to give me when I would go to her house by the beach. She would give me graham crackers. And I really, really loved them. And so I really like graham crackers. They gave us a big graham crack. And then you walk a little more. And another teacher gives you a piece of chocolate. And they tell you don't eat it yet, save it. And then you walk a little more. get a marshmallow and you have to roast it over the fire. Except this is my first time ever. I didn't even know what this was at the time. Because when I was growing up in Mexico, there was nothing like it. And so there was my chunk of chocolate had 2 pieces. And I saw the big graham cracker. And I thought, well, I have 2 pieces of chocolate, so I need to split these crackers up. Yeah, someone did have to tell me. Someone had to explain to me what to do. And so I roast the marshmallow. And actually, I end up roasting 2 marshmallows. And then I get a little scolded and told that I was only supposed to take 1. Because I thought I have 2 pieces of chocolate. So I need, if you make a little sandwich, right? You need 2 marshmallows. And so right there, for the first time in my life, I made 2 little s'mores. Graham cracker, chocolate, marshmallow, a little sandwich. And the hot marshmallow is meant to partially melt the chocolate, just a little bit. And so on that night, under the most beautiful sky I'd ever seen, still to this point in my life, and for the first time ever, eating s'mores as a kid. I think it might actually be one of the happiest moments in my life. In that moment, it felt like nothing could be better, because to me, who was like, I don't know, 5th, 6th grade, that was the most delicious thing I could ever imagine. It's a little s'more. And not only that, I got to have 2 of them. Everyone only got to have 1. And I got 2 of them. I didn't even cheat the system. I didn't know. I didn't realize s'mores were so big. And so instead I made 2 s'mores. Can you imagine the pure happiness that little Mono was radiating that night under the stars? And 2 s'mores when everyone else only got to have 1. Yeah, you eat the first s'more, and then you realize right after, oh my god, I still have another one. Sorry. Sorry. I didn't get a tummy ache at all, did I? Doesn't matter. I don't remember. But even if I had, it would have been worth it. The tummy ache in the midst of all that else wouldn't even have mattered. It's very fun trying a lot of classic American sweets when I was a kid. Cookie dough ice cream. Oh my gosh. S'mores. Incredible. Apple pie with ice cream on it. Unbelievable. But you know what? You know what little Mono really liked? I really liked Reese's Puff cereal. The very first time I had it, I went into the kitchen and I found a big plastic salad bowl. And I filled it up. And I filled it up with milk all the way. I must have been like 10 years old. 11, I don't know. And I sat there and I ate an entire salad bowl of Reese's Puff cereal. 'Cause it was just so good. It was just so good. really liked cereal growing up. When I was growing up, they didn't sell anything like that at the supermarket. They sold Frosted Flakes and Rice Krispies. And if you were lucky, they had it in chocolate, and that was it. You know, as far as sugary cereals go. I was the happiest little 10-year-old. Oh, there were no Honey Nut Cheerios. I'm sure it's different now. That was a long time ago. That was back when the dinosaurs roamed the earth. So, that's why as an adult, I never buy Reese's Puffs because I know what I'm capable of. And I know I'll do it again. I'll do it again. I don't think I have the willpower to stop myself. I don't think I could stop myself. And so, I just never get it. Even though it's like my favorite cereal. Sometimes you just have to watch out for yourself like that, huh? Aren't those the beautiful moments of the world, though? All these wonderful, I like that a bit. All these wonderful little memories in my head. It's really easy to share them like this. I get to feel like I'm reliving them all over again. You know, though, there was one time I got to see a meteor shower. Have you ever seen one of those? It's kind of incredible. It's a shame that my memory of this one is not as sharp as the one about the s'mores. But living in the desert, there'd be a lot of good chances to go see the stars. And so one night, I was a lot older by now. I was a freshman in college. And I had a lot of friends, and we would hang out all the time. Like, hung out all the time. We were always doing stuff all together. It was like 6, 7 of us, right? And so a couple had cars, and we heard that there was going to be a meteor shower. And so the problem was it was going to peak at 2 in the morning. So we all made plans. To meet up around midnight. And then drive out to the lake to go see the meteor shower. Now, obviously lakes are rare in the desert. Funny enough, this one was a man-made lake. I feel like those are pretty rare. It's not a natural lake. It's a lake made by people. Filled with fish and everything. It's just things you have to do in the desert. Because there's not much water there. Clearly. And so we met up around midnight at the local Denny's. That was our favorite spot. We would all gather there and just wait for everyone. Because, well, you know, there's always a lot of different characters in a friend group, right? And so one of them was classically bad at being on time. You know, the kind of friend that you have to tell them to be ready an hour before you actually need to be ready? Admittedly, I can be like that too sometimes. But forgive me, sorry. Oh my god. Oh my god, sorry. All this talking. All this talking makes me burp, sorry. So yeah, we met up at the local Denny's and waited, and then when everybody arrived, because of course that one friend took way too long, we all drive out together, carpooling in 2 cars, and we drive far into the The desert is very different from like a forest. Of course, there's some trees, but you can, for the most part, see everything. You can see all the brush, all the bushes, the dry trees. And you know what? In the desert, all the trees have very I don't know how to describe them. There are leaves that make a lot of noise in the wind. You know, it'll be a windy night, like right, the breeze will be flowing, and it can get pretty windy out there. Right through the trees, like with that little howl, you know. And you hear the leaves rattling around. And it's so, so, so loud. It's so loud. But it's a little scary because that's what rattlesnakes sound like too. And I lived in the kind of place where rattlesnakes were pretty common. I've seen a couple while I lived there. And it's scary. It's a scary sound. So we parked some spot. Everybody got out of the car and we just sat on the hood of the car, waiting for the meteor shower to start. And once it started, it was so fascinating the way that you expect that it's going to look like, and the way that it actually looks like. I felt like I expected to see some almost cartoon-like thing. I didn't really know what to expect. once again that it doesn't feel real, but the way space is, it's so different than how things work for us on Earth. And so you see a meteor, and it has like a very faint tail, like a very faint tail trail, like a ray behind it, a light. And then you see so many of them. You see so many, one after the other. It really is like if it was raining, almost. Except every drop is a little tiny drop of light that's leaving behind the little glowing trail. It's so beautiful. But I've always been a little intimidated by nature, obviously, right? I'm a big lover of nature, but I'm also very afraid of it. So, I hate to admit it, but if I can tell you a secret, I'm still a little afraid of the dark. Just a little. I can't help but get a little scared. And my night vision is really bad. It's true, I have night lights in almost every room. I have a nightlight in the kitchen. I have a nightlight in the bathroom. I have a nightlight in the hallway and in the living room. Gotta eat more carrots, huh? Does that actually help? I guess I don't eat enough carrots. But when you're out in nature, it's dark, dark. It's super extra dark. There's no street lights. There's no lamps. And so I was very on edge the whole can do a lot, honestly. And so in that moment, I hear a sound. Like, not a normal sound. In the distance, in nature. It was like a moaning, like I can't do it. I can't do it whispering. Can I do it quietly? Kinda like that. I'm sorry, I can't believe I just did that. And so me and my friend was also like my best friend during that time. Me and her run inside the car. We're both terrified. It was like that kind of cartoon moment, right? Where you hear it and you look at each other at the same time, like and we just book it inside the car. And we close the door and we lock ourselves in. And everybody's like, come on, come out. It's fine. There's nothing. And we're both in the car like, no way. No way. And we would go outside finally. And then hear it again. And right back into the car we would go. Anyway, I think it was a donkey. I think. I think it was a donkey. Maybe. Did the car have a sunroof? I don't think so. These were cars. These were kind of junker hand-me-downs, you know, that college kids would have. A sunroof is fancy. You know, I really wish I had taken more time to appreciate the nature instead of being so scared, though. Like, I wish I had taken the time to really take in what was in front of me. Sometimes you see beautiful things, or sometimes you experience something really, really, really beautiful. And sometimes you don't even realize it at the time. Like, you don't realize how beautiful and wonderful something was. And all you can do is think, man, I wish I could relive it. So, I'm trying to become the kind of person that is a little better at... Oh, my mouth is so wet, I'm sorry. Sorry, I'm like drooling on you. There we go, I wiped it out. Trying to become the kind of person that appreciates this kind of thing a little more. You know, that appreciates the moment. Definitely feels like a skill you have to learn. Because it's really easy to be distracted by all the little details about everything. All the other things going on. Your brain is going so fast. You end up not taking time to really take in a moment. I think about so many times when I was in Europe, where I was somewhere so incredible, but I was so much more focused on everything that was making me uncomfortable. The crowds, the heat, the humidity, the achy feet, the family drama, everything. That I remember standing in front of the Great Pyramids of Egypt, one of the wonders of the world. It's definitely something I'll regret. Being too absorbed in myself to realize the beauty of what was right in front of me. Admittedly, travel is stressful. They say it's a vacation to travel, but it can be very stressful. But I wish I had been able to really, like, be there in that moment. Because how many times in your life will you be right there under the desert sun? Socks full of sand, sunburned skin, literally within touching distance of the pyramids of Egypt. And you can touch the pyramids when you go there. You can touch it. It's crazy. One of the most important things in the entire world. And you can just touch it. You can actually climb on a part of the pyramids. It's just stones. And you know, they say that they always say that when you go to the pyramids, right? That you'll be surprised how close they are to the city. And it's true. It's true. The city with its buildings and everything does go up. Basically right up to them. But when you're there and I got this feeling, especially when you go to like this little vista area, and it's nothing but desert. Endlessly desert and desert and desert. And in a desert like that, the horizon blurs with the sky. And there's just a little sandy haze. It's just a sea of sand. It's a shame that there's so much light pollution. Because it's a city after all. But can you imagine what it must have looked like without any cities without any lights at night. Now I understand that the pyramids are tombs. They're the gravestone of some of the most powerful people in Egyptian time. So, who knows if maybe you would even have the chance to be out there at night. I don't know, but I can only imagine. And there's such a feeling too when you see something so old. Old buildings, old objects have such like a feeling to them. It's almost like they really do have an aura radiating off of them. I've seen temples that were 1,000 years old. And I've seen the pyramids now. Seen artifacts thousands and thousands and thousands of years old. I've been to the ruins in Tenochtitlan. Very gorgeous place. The old Aztec ruins. The Temple of the Sun. I was so scared of those temples when I was a little kid. I got to go to all the ancient Mexican ruins when I was really young, and it's incredible. Some of it is so well preserved. And what always scared me is that it was said that human sacrifice was a thing for certain rituals on top of some of the biggest temples. And that the ritual was that the rituals were things like taking a human sacrifice, a young girl of course, which I was at the time, and ripping open her chest offering that heart to the gods. Pretty gruesome, huh? So of course I was terrified. Of course I was so scared. we went to the wax museum that had like a wax reenactment of it. And I was so scared. So scared. I was really scared. And so I just couldn't think about that stuff for a long time. But like I was saying, you see those old things like that, right? And they are so intimidating because it feels like as you're standing there in front of this thing that is thousands and thousands and thousands of years old. And it's almost like you can feel that energy radiating off of them. Yeah, it's like it's staring back at you. The stories it would tell if it could talk. The wear and tear of so many years of people. I think it's really interesting to think that a lot of things in temples or ancient buildings very often were painted. A lot of the pyramid stuff, you see it mostly only as orange or brown or red. Used to be covered in color. You know what I saw? You know what I saw when I was in London? I saw with my own two eyes the Rosetta Stone. And it was such a feeling to see something so historically important, to civilization, to like things as we know them today, Sometimes it feels like if you close your eyes in front of things like that, it's like you can almost be kind of like teleported in time. I think the very first time I felt that was I went to the OK Corral as a kid. It's the place of a famous like western, like real cowboy fight. It's a cowboy town. It's just a good old western cowboy town. Tombstone, Arizona. And they keep it well preserved because it makes its money from tourism. You know, the appeal of just being a good old western cowboy town. Tombstone, Arizona. But they say it's a very haunted place. I don't know that it's haunted, but I think old places just have energy. They just have an energy about them. I remember feeling that way as a kid, walking into one of the shops, and that shop looked so old. It apparently used to be an old bar. Just stepping in felt crazy. And then when I was in Japan, I took the time to go to, what was it? The temple on the 1 yen coin. Not your typical tourist destination, but a local Japanese friend had told me to go. They said, you should go check out the temple from the 1 yen coin. And I did. I went out and I went to this little temple. It wasn't little, it was huge. And it was super old. Over 1,000 years old. Beautiful, beautiful Japanese temple. And those temples are so intricate and beautiful. There's so much little detail in everything. And just the way that things are balanced and planned out. The way that superstition plays into some of the old architecture. I believe it's like if you avoid a certain type of line, then it keeps bad spirits away. Because they will fall off. Things like that. Very big temple, and you just kind of feel the age of like all the things that have happened here since it was built. There there's a part in the middle that really stood out to me because it's all gated off, but you can peek in, and you see this paint, this mural on the wall that's 1,000 years old. That's something someone drew there, someone painted there, and it's still there, but just barely. Just barely. The colors are faded and it doesn't look exactly the way it used to, but it's still there. Oh my gosh, sorry. Well, that was so loud. Oh gosh. I'm sorry. Gosh. I'm always making noises, I'm sorry. Anyway, I went there and it's very nice. I had that feeling again of like, this has almost like an aura, you know? It's so nice to sit here with you and just kind of lose myself and remembering all these little things. It feels like I'm taking you with me. Like I can take you there. And the more and more and more that I kind of like learn to appreciate living in that moment and learn to really take in everything, the more vivid the memories of it get. I was so happy telling you that story of the s'mores in the starry sky earlier. I really felt like I was reliving it. It was very wonderful. Guess it's been a pretty nice dream so far, huh? It had been a while since I had a chance to do ASMR, but it felt like the right time, and I didn't struggle. I thought I was going to stumble setting it up, but it all came right back to me. But it's nice. It's nice to be quiet like this. I'm always laughing so loud all the time. I'm always yelling. I'm always being rowdy. It's nice to be here, up close. It's a brain beam straight to your brain. Now, before I say goodnight, it's been a while, so allow me to give your ears some direct attention. Close your eyes, okay? Does that feel good? You see, life is so beautiful, and I think it is so worth sharing with you. I know some days it can be really hard to notice. Maybe sometimes you'll wonder, what is even so beautiful? So I hope that maybe you can take the time to look up at the moon just a little longer. Stare at the clouds just a little longer. Look at the way the water moves, reflecting the light. No. Trying to do serious ASMR here. Anyway. Be nice if you could. Look at the way moss grows on a tree. Look at the way the feathers change colors on a bird. Crazy patterns on a bug. The order in which leaves go from small to big on a plant. Things like that. The way that trees grow so tall all the way into the sky. The way that when you pour milk in your coffee, for a little bit it looks like clouds, like ribbons. Isn't it wonderful? I want you to see those kind of beautiful things too. I don't want you to miss out on them, no matter what. You got it. Alright. For now, I'll let you go. But I'm here, and you can listen to this anytime that you want to be kind of transported into another world. Anytime that you want to be up close. Anytime that you want to be in this moment, I'll be right here for you. And if you have fallen asleep, I hope you're sleeping well. I hope you're having sweet dreams. If you just woke up, I hope your day is off to a nice start. And I hope maybe this is what makes your day a little bit more special today. As you go about your day and try to notice